Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to all of you joining us here in the chapel and on YouTube. I'm Eric Chewy, your worship leader today, and we're especially glad to have those of you who may be with us for the first time and hope to see you again soon. I'd like to remind you to please silence your cell phones or other noise-making devices at this time. Our speaker is Bonnie Long here, and Bonnie has been a member of the UU Church of Vancouver for about 14 years. Soon after joining, she served a 3-year term as a worship leader and has since enjoyed the honor of occasionally preaching from UCV's pulpit. She's been gainfully retired since 2008, that's an interesting expression, after enjoying the final 10 years of her lifelong teaching career as a professor at Linfield University. Bonnie and her husband, Gail, who is here with us this morning, have lived in Vancouver for nearly 30 years, and they share their home with a smart, funny, and adorable Shih Tzu poodle mix named Cody Benjamin. And I do need to point out that Bonnie has had an infection. She had laryngitis, so she's getting over now, so her voice may be a bit scratchy, just so everybody's forewarned. Okay, our acknowledgement, Eastrose Fellowship gathers on the traditional homelands of the Clackamas, Chinook, and other indigenous people of this region. We acknowledge the harm of forced removal and honor the continuing presence, sovereignty, and resilience of Native communities, including the Chinook Indian Nation and the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde. May we be guided toward relationship, repair, and right action. Let's take a moment now and greet each other here today, both in the chapel and online. Please stand and face the cameras by the clock on the back wall and wave our hello to our friends online. And then turn to your neighbor and say hello. I love seeing such a friendly crowd. Guess what? Afterwards, we have coffee, and you can get to know each other even better. That's great. So for our online guests, if you would like to share a joy or sorrow during that portion of the service, you can do so by entering it in your YouTube chat, and those will be shared aloud with everyone. I also encourage you to identify yourself in the chat so we may better acknowledge your presence with us today. Those who are not enjoying the beaches. You are welcome here, no matter who you are, no matter where you come from, no matter what your background. You are welcome here to join us as we proclaim worth in our spiritual journeys. You are welcome to join us as we sing songs that uplift our very beings. We welcome you. Let us prepare for worship as we listen to the prelude. Bonnie is going to light the chalice for us. We light this flame to remind us love is the center. As we grow and connect, mature and deepen, love is our center. When the light of truth burns all else away, love endures. Opening words is from Simone de Beauvoir, the French writer. That's what I consider true generosity. You give your all, and yet you always feel as if it costs you nothing. Okay, our opening hymn, it's one we've sung before. It's number 1074 in the Teal hymnal, Turn the World Around. The words will be up here, and if you would feel more secure with reading the music, you can find it in the Teal hymnal 1074. And there is going to be one change. There is a word in here, which is in the Teal hymnal called abatiwa. We're not going to use that. We're going to use woe instead. Just woe. Dance. And now we have time for all ages with our family ministry, Tara Toller and the kids.
Good morning. Today I'm wondering, what does it mean for us to be generous to each other? Sometimes generosity means sharing what we have. Sometimes it means sharing our time or having hands that are ready to serve. Today in RE, we're going to help take care of our Eastrose grounds by picking up trash together. That's one way that we show generosity to our community. Today's story is about a woman named Amu who loves to share what she has with the people in her neighborhood. But it's also a story about what a community does when someone has given all they can. This is Thank You, Amu by O.J. Mora. On the corner of 1st Street and Long Street, on the very top floor, Amu was cooking a thick red stew in a big fat pot for a nice evening meal. She seasoned and stirred it and took a small taste. "What a delicious stew," Amu said. "Tonight's dinner will surely be the best I've ever had." With that, Amu put down her spoon. Amu put down her spoon and went to read a book before supper. As the thick red stew simmered on the stove, its scrumptious scent wafted out the window and out the door, down the hall, toward the street, and around the block, until, knock, someone was at the door. When Amu opened it, she saw a little boy. "Little boy," Amu exclaimed, "what brings you to my home?" "I was playing with my race car down the hall when I smelled the most delicious smell," the little boy replied. "What is it?" "Thick red stew." Stew," he sighed. "That sure sounds yummy." Amu thought for a moment. She was saving her stew for dinner, but she had made quite a bit. It wouldn't hurt to share. "Would you like some?" The little boy nodded. And so Amu spooned out some thick red stew from the big fat pot for her nice evening meal. "Thank you, Amu," the little boy said, and went on his way. With that, Amu closed the door and went back to her book. As she read, her thick red stew's scrumptious scent wafted out the window and out the door, down the hall, toward the street, and around the block, until, knock, knock, someone was at the door. When Amu opened the door this time, she saw a police officer. "Ms. Police Officer," Amu exclaimed, "what brings you to my home?" "I was on duty down the street when I smelled the most delicious smell," Ms. Police Officer replied. "What is it?" "Thick red stew." "Ah, stew," she said, and her mouth watered. "That sounds mighty tasty." Amu thought for a moment. There was still enough to share. "Would you like some?" The police officer nodded. Once again, Amu spooned out some thick red stew from the big fat pot for her nice evening meal. "Thank you, Amu," the officer said, and went on her way. And so for the second time, Amu closed the door and went back to her book. Sure enough, as she read, her thick red stew's scrumptious scent wafted out the window and out the door, down the hall, toward the street, and around the block, until, knock, knock, knock. Again, someone was at Amu's door. This time, when she opened it, she saw a hot dog vendor. "Mr. Hot Dog Vendor," Amu exclaimed, "what brings you to my home?" "I was selling my hot dogs down the block when I smelled the most delicious smell," Mr. Hot Dog Vendor replied. "What is it?" "Thick red stew." "Ooh, stew," the vendor licked his lips. "That sounds quite delectable." So Amu spooned out some thick red stew from the big fat pot for her nice evening meal. "Thank you, Amu," the hot dog vendor said, and went on his way. Throughout the day, people from all across the neighborhood knocked on Amu's door. She fed a shop owner, a cab driver, a doctor, an actor, a lawyer, a dancer, a baker, an artist, a singer, an athlete, a bus driver, a construction worker. Even the mayor stopped by. And each time they knocked, Amu shared. Soon the sky darkened, the streetlights brightened, and it was finally time for dinner. But when Amu opened her big fat pot of thick red stew for her nice evening meal, it was empty. Amu sniffled. "There goes the best dinner I ever had." Sorry and blue, she sat at the table with her empty pot until, knock, 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 knock. Who could that be, Amu wondered. When she opened her door, she saw the little boy, the police officer, the hot dog vendor, the shop owner, the cab driver, the doctor, the actor, the lawyer, the dancer, the baker. Why, everyone she fed today was at her door. "I'm sorry, everyone," Amu sighed. "My thick red stew is all gone. I have nothing left to share." The little boy tugged at Amu's sleeve. "Don't worry, Amu. We're not here to ask. We are here to give." The police officer carried in a fresh salad. The mayor entered with a roast chicken. The baker brought a collection of sweet goodies. Even the little boy presented Amu with something special in a shiny red envelope. Everyone who had knocked on Amu's door that day squeezed inside her tiny apartment, and together they ate, danced, and celebrated. While Amu's big fat pot of thick red stew was empty, Her heart was full of happiness and love. That dinner was the best she had ever had. The end. Sometimes generosity begins with one person, but grows into a whole community caring for each other. And with that, we'll head back to RE. If the adults along the center aisle will form a bridge, we'll sing the children out.
Now I'm going to invite you to do a quiet time in the service. If you're comfortable, close your eyes, place your feet on the floor, uncross your arms, drop your shoulders, and take a very big exhale. Then begin your intentional breathing. 4 beats in slowly through your nose, 5 or 6 beats out through your mouth in a steady rhythm, creating peace and spaciousness as you move from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet grounded on the earth. Complete another round or two of breathing, and slowly come back to this space. Please remain seated and sing 1031 in the teal hymnal, Filled with Loving Kindness. The words will be on the screen.
May
The reading is When You Fall by John Brodell. When you fall, you don't always have to bounce right back up again. You're a human, not a rubber ball. My love, the next time you fall down hard, allow the crater you created to become a cradle. Take a deep breath and rest, my love. Just rest.
It's so good to be here this morning. If I learned anything from spending 10 years in Toastmasters way back when, it was to never begin a speech, especially a sermon, with an apology or a disclaimer. Like, I didn't sleep well last night, but here goes nothing. Or, I'm missing a few pages here, but I think I can muddle through. So I know better, but I still feel the need to set the scene here before moving into what I have to say this morning. I'm well aware that I'll be preaching to the choir much of the time, so please take my various pearls of wisdom as just gentle reminders if you've already embraced them and have made them part of your daily practice. We won't fix this poor, broken world this morning, but together we can bask in this safe, friendly ambience and maybe ramp up the collective brilliance of our wisdom. Okay? When I say okay, you say okay. Okay? There's a particular roller coaster at Disney World that's rated the #1 scariest ride in the park. It launches backwards at top speed, and then you're experiencing sudden drops, twists, loops, and you're upside down much of the time. All of it while being kept in the dark. Does that sound familiar? In whatever ways we're managing to navigate life these days, excuse me, our nervous systems are a bit out of whack. We can handle occasional spikes of outrage or despair, but full-on extremes are not healthy long-term. Not to mention never knowing what the next wild ride will be. So my choice of topic for this morning was driven by the roller coaster rides we've all been on these days. Whether personally, an unexpected health issue, for example, a community-based stressor and uncertainties like what both you and we at UUCV are currently navigating as our ministers retire. And of course, all the political strife, the injustice, and the scary environmental issues we wake up to each morning. Studies of human happiness and well-being usually focus on the positive impact of caring for and sharing with others, like Amu. Amu, in our story this morning, lives that beautifully. There's no disputing that such factors as trusting others, knowing others have our back in times of trouble, and being socially connected with others, especially in person, they're all key to how we perceive the quality of our lives. They're a big part of why we show up here. The sense of belonging and mattering is palpable in this room, even for newcomers, I hope. However, the growing lack of trust and safety and connection in society at large is probably why a recently published World Happiness Report from Gallup and Oxford University noted that the United States has slipped to its lowest ever ranking among 147 nations surveyed. It ranked 11th 12 years ago and came in at 24th this year. You can connect those dots. Like mercy in Shakespeare's Merchant of Venice, generosity is twice blessed. It blesses those who receive and those who give. So it turns out that showing ourselves some of that mercy when we can't show up to help others is also important. Forget half full or half empty. Where do we get a refill when our glass is just plain dry? Where does the energy to reach out come from when we're scraping the bottom of our own resource barrel in so many ways? It begins within. That magical recharging station is right there in each of us. Our ability and willingness to give to others arises from our ability and willingness to be generous with ourselves. Do I trust myself? Do I feel truly connected to myself? Do I have my back in times of trouble? Am I my own best friend? I'd like to think so, but then I'm quick to decide for that friend that she doesn't really have to exercise today. And true confession, she's been known to enjoy an entire pint of Haagen-Dazs ice cream in a single sitting. We all understand the power of story in our lives. I have one to share with you in a minute. Meaning that the narratives we learn at our elders' knees help to form our adult worldview. How many of us heard, or just absorbed by osmosis, the sacrificing for others story growing up? So is there a chapter in your origin story that covers the importance of nurturing and sustaining ourselves? Excellent. Good for you, Kathy. Were we taught to cherish and take care of ourselves before showing up for others? As the Substack author Joy Ojai puts it, self-care isn't a luxury right now. It's not an indulgence. It's not just for the people who can afford it. It's for people who can't afford not to. Being generous with ourselves in times when we're starting with a dry, empty glass is not being selfish. It's practicing a sustainable strategy for being able and willing to be there for others, to be here for yourselves in their time of need. Enough with preaching to the choir for a while. I'd like to share a personal story. Okay? Okay. My mom was born in 1914. Her first few years were rough, to say the least. They involved her being neglected, emotionally abused, and rejected. Her grandmother eventually rescued her when she was 4 or 5, which probably saved her life. She thrived on her grandparents' Montana ranch, was the valedictorian of her small-town high school class, and finished 3 years at the University of Missoula, in Missoula, before the money ran out during the Great Depression. As a parent, she did over-the-top, generous things for my sister and me, like staging our birthday parties in big, grand ways, buying way too many Christmas gifts for us, volunteering to lead our youth groups, a mixed blessing at times. She worked full-time, both for pay to supplement our dad's income so we could both go to college, and for her church. She was often exhausted and cranky, so she doggedly followed through with what needed to be done for others. But she shortchanged herself in many ways, sacrificing for others instead of nurturing herself. We had new school clothes each September, cute dresses at Easter, and our favorite meals on the table. But to the best of my memory, she never said, "I love you." She never said, "I love you" to us face to face. After I left home, she always signed her notes, "Love, Mom." And when I said the 3 words out loud to her in her later years, she'd hold on a little longer when we hugged. But she still couldn't say them back to me. Maybe because in her early years, no one had said them to her. One day shortly after she died, I sat on her bed, going through some stuff in a shoebox I'd pulled off her closet shelf. Among a stash of old cards and keepsake photos, I found this small, yellowed newspaper clipping. It's a list entitled "Things I Must Do Today." Author unknown, but it sounds suspiciously like Ann Landers. I've since framed it. There are a few items on the list she must have thought important. Say thank you often. Finish a job already started. Admit I may be wrong. The first item on the list, it fits too. Do something for someone else. And the last one, the last item way at the bottom, say, "I love you." I had no idea she had this little clipping until after she passed, and I can barely tell you how important it was for me to find that, especially because I believe that she was wanting to ascribe to every one of those behaviors, including the last one. I've read it many times since I found it 20 years ago. I'm no psychiatrist, but I'm guessing because she was not told she was loved during her formative years, the space in her heart from which she could say it forward, was empty. I'm glad to know that she cared enough about doing and being these things to clip the list and save it. That helps me to understand that she tried. She tried nurturing her love for herself, and she knew that's what she needed to do to become more open with others. What do you do to care for yourselves? Do you walk or pedal your bike a few times a week? Do you stop to marvel at nature's glory when you're in her presence? Absolutely. Massages? Meditate? Excellent. Dig in the dirt and delight in watching things grow? Watch grandchildren grow? Sing in the shower? I usually do that, but not lately. All good ways to nurture yourself. What could you throw into the mix? Any others I haven't mentioned? What? Rest. Yes, absolutely. Excellent. Each of these fits snugly into one of the three major categories of strategic self-care I have to share with you. First, find and maintain your balance. We're much better at weathering life's storms and helping others to do so if we aim for emotional, mental, physical, spiritual equilibrium in our lives. In whatever ways work for us, seeking moderation is the ticket. On one hand, once we get the hang of it, it feels so good to be good to ourselves. Have that second dish of ice cream. Schedule that pedicure. If you're feeling a bit over-peopled, sleep in on Sunday mornings and watch the service on YouTube while you munch your cereal in your PJs. Just chill. You deserve it. On the other hand, on the far other end of the pendulum's arc, we also need to avoid overreacting to every fleeting crisis that crosses our path. We are living in the age of overreaction. Everyone seems to have a hair trigger about what everyone else does or says. It can push our beleaguered nervous system into overdrive. My personal sense of radical resistance says things are so bad right now that there's no chance of overreacting. Some days the supply of available curse words is insufficient to meet my demand. But before posting some knee-jerk comment on a snarky Facebook piece I run across, I'm trying to remember to practice restraint. Wait 20 minutes before wading in. We've heard that before when we were learning to swim. If it still needs to be said, it'll be said in a better, kinder way. And that easily transfers to feeling better about and kinder to myself. You know that little angel and devil on your shoulders? You know, if you listen to the devil right away and just flash right back your response, it doesn't work very well for our nervous system. But if we wait 20 minutes and listen to what she has to say, it works. On the inevitable other hand, calming down is one thing, but checking out or giving up is another. Stay in the game until you need a timeout. Several friends have deactivated their social media accounts lately. More power to them for stepping back and resting. It's like practicing a Facebook or an Instagram Sabbath. But in the process, I hope they don't lose track of people they value, people who live long away and they don't see very often. And I hope they find other ways to connect with people who are good for them. The 24/7 news cycle can be exhausting and depressing. But there's a website called 1440, which minimizes the babble and the sensationalism of news and just tells us what's happening. If you're looking for news sources that focus on good news, I recommend a site called fixthenews.com. It's worth subscribing to just to learn that there's plenty of important stuff happening around the globe that's not all doom and gloom. Second, find and focus on small joys. They're easily overlooked these days, but they can be powerful antidotes to pain when we notice them. A friend helping me in the yard one day spotted a tiny hummingbird nest towards the top of one of our trees. While we stood there squinting up at it, one of the parents zoomed past us up into the tree and settled in for a quick rest. We smiled the rest of that day, despite the government being dismantled all around us. We need to play. We need to let ourselves laugh. Maya Angelou counsels us to use humor to lighten the burden of our hearts. And she should know. One evening a while ago, Gail and I attended a performance of the Ukulele Orchestra of Great Britain. Were you there? Oh. The 7 expert ukulelists on tour were all British subjects based in London. They held the sold-out crowd in Beaverton's Reeser Arts Center spellbound for 2 hours. The playlist was thoughtful, funny, eclectic, and perfectly orchestrated. No one in the audience left doubting that a ukulele is a serious instrument. Early in the show, one of the more talkative players shared that they were glad to be here among their American friends. The auditorium was silent. She went on, "We are still friends, aren't we?" And that got a huge round of applause. Not sure, but maybe it was between their performance of the Muppet theme song and a lovely rendition of Addicted to Love. A little later, it's when she mentioned what a wonderful audience we were. And then she dropped the line, "Let's make America Great Britain again." Laughing that long laugh out loud, along with almost everyone else in the room, felt so good I almost cried. Which reminds me, the corollary to letting ourselves laugh is letting ourselves cry. When we let them come, tears are a blessing. They not only release toxins from our body, they tend to clear our minds and hearts and guide us toward actions that restore and heal. Plus, when we allow ourselves to feel and show our vulnerability, we give others permission to be present with their own pain. Third, make meaning. If you don't have any yet, create just one tiny ritual for yourself that grounds you on a regular basis. Light a candle in the morning as the coffee is brewing. Spend 20 minutes working in the garden each day with intention, rain or shine. Say, "I love you," whenever someone you love leaves the house. At mealtime, we briefly squeeze each other's hand before starting into the food on our plates. We don't say grace, but in a world that feels like quicksand, the grace of that quick gesture reminds us where our solid ground is. Bottom lines, the wellspring of our generosity can easily run dry when we're not paying attention. It often needs to be replenished. Yes, we must resist, but in a balanced, meaningful way, laced with hope and joy and play. And we must never stop celebrating our perfect imperfection. To complement the John Rodell poem that Eric read earlier, I'll close with another poem of his. Everything seems so heavy today, I told an angel who was disguised as the sky. That's because you're not supposed to be carrying everything, the angel replied. I feel my back buckle under the weight of my burdens. Well, what am I exactly meant to be carrying right now? I asked the chatty heavens. On, the sky angel responded. Just keep carrying on. And for today, that's enough. Please rise in body or spirit as you are able to sing together number 1015 in the teal hymnal.
And now we come to the moment in our service where we share 1/4 of the cash offering with a local organization doing good works in the community. Portland Immigrant Rights Coalition, PIRC, is our Sharing the Bounty partner from March through August. They work to empower immigrants, unite families, and build a just community. PIRC maintains a hotline to report ICE activities and build a just community. To report ICE activities, provides referrals to legal aid and social services, trains rapid response Migrant watchers, and maintains a daily presence at the Portland Immigration and the ICE building. If you are attending online, you may donate by visiting our website and clicking the donate button, or you may scan the QR code on the screen up there. If you are here for the first time, we invite you to let the basket pass and truly be our guest. The gifts of the congregation will now be most gratefully received. Seated and sing our song of gratitude, 1010 in the Teal hymnal, We Give Thanks. The words will be on the screen. Chalice. So I'm going to ask Bonnie to take the chalice extinguisher and put out the flame. We extinguish this flame to remind us love is the center. As we explore and rest, engage and heal, love remains the center. When all we can see is cold ashes, love remains. So I got one written announcement here, and this one's from Linda Schaldak, right here. And she has a question. Did you know that Eastrose has a history? A group of women weeding for 2 hours at Eastrose and then going out for lunch. I was called Weed and Feed. Now Bobby Tallman and myself do weeding once a week, so if others came to help, it would be great. That's all capitals. And also going out for lunch would be fun. So when does this weeding happen?
Between Thursday and Friday, we need to find out what's the best day.
Between Tuesday and Friday, and I guess you have to arrange for the time.
Right.
Okay?
In the morning.
In the morning, yeah. And Keen basically had a pre-announcement for next month about snowcap. Is there anything else? Yes, Steffi.
Staffy here in the back. 2 announcements. Last Sunday, we found a piece of jewelry in one of the restrooms. If you lost a piece of jewelry here last Sunday, come see me to identify. Second thing is a housekeeping item. In the hallway, we have sign-ups for flowers, coffee cleaning, and coffee making. We just put out a fresh month. We could use people start signing up for August. You can choose any of the squares. They're all open. Choose your favorite.
That's exciting.
I know, isn't it? And that's all I've got for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Steffi. Okay.
As we leave here today, let us carry our love for ourselves, our source of personal generosity and sustenance, into this bruised and hurting world. Let us remember that our joyful light may be another person's beacon. Our vulnerability may be another person's invitation to live with more freedom to be themselves. May we do what calls to our heart, celebrate our perfect imperfection, and, as with Grandma Amu, may the brightness of the light we cast shine back on us 100-fold. Go in peace. You are not alone.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Thank you.
So that was our benediction. You are now invited to join us for coffee and conversation back in the Thatcher room. What? The things?